Take a look at this. What say you? What say you? Think about where the work just got stuck last week, last month. What was the division? What was the department that became the bottleneck? The silo. Okay? It's the question that I've been asking my teams lately. It's a good one. And I am going to invite you and encourage you to ask the same question. Does the conflict create the silos? Or do the silos create the conflict? The conflict, right? We got some personality issues. So I'm not going to bend over backwards, or I'm just not even going to attempt anything that might be standard protocol because you hurt my feelings. Or does the silo, the process, the structure, the system that is set to kind of slow everyone down, and even though none of you built that, right? It far, the history of that thing supersedes anybody. Yeah, and nobody even questions it anymore. Does that create the conflict? So I facilitated a roundtable last week with school soups and college presidents, and it's just so just really cool what happens in that intersection. We used to pull folks together really talking about how do we eliminate the silos across K-12 and as it migrates to higher education. And I think we've advanced the work to really talk about where some of the conflict actually lies and how we're going to be snuffing out some of those real live issues of interference, because the potential is there. So the thing that drove the whole conversation last week, we've talked about this before. Your performance equals your potential minus your interference. Pretty simple formula, not simplistic, because once you can answer the question that typically orbits around that little I, then you're going places. It's not mine. It's Timothy Galloway, I think was 1974 was the year, right? So a couple of takeaways. Does the conflict create the silo, or do the silos create the conflict? And how does that relate to the dynamic of your performance is your potential minus your interference? So I think there's a pattern, definitely a pattern underneath all of that friction. And it's the one that most people aren't going to say out loud. Western culture has this thing, and it's in my bones, self-sufficiency, right? It's not a virtue. It's just not a virtue anymore. It's like you being the first car in the lot and the last one to leave. That's not a badge of honor anymore either. So the times have shifted. So that self-sufficiency thing, I think one leader actually last week said it the plainest. He'd walk into an organization where the standing rule was solve everything internally. We solve all of our own problems internally. We never benchmark, never admit difficulty outside of the building. His fix wasn't a new committee. It was just permission. Repeated for months until looking outward stopped just feeling like a risk, and started to edit out this self-sufficiency thing. Another took it a little bit further, just facing a decade of demographic change. And this was her team wanted to manage real quietly, with some resistance to some of the things that needed to change in the culture. So she asked her cabinet one question. How many of our students are you comfortable harming? Just like a number, put it on the table. And nobody has a comfortable answer to that. I think that's the point, isn't it? So brava to that leader and that posture, right? So yeah, does the conflict create the silo, or do the silos create the conflict? Here's the framework the room built together, and you can teach it to your own cabinet in under a minute. And the immature ones are going to say, I got this handled. Let's go on to the real issue. But I think the real mature builders, and that's what we're looking for, folks. This roundtable was populated, not by dreamers. You can sniff those out. You certainly can sniff out the coasters that have nothing better to do than take my invite. And there are the climbers out there as well. Those that are, they're smart and aggressive and doing all the right things, but not really wearing the team jersey and kind of looking over to the fence to see where their next opportunity. These are builders. We're going to ask the question, who else is fighting this exact fight? And why haven't I picked up the phone and said, let's create a little coalition. Let's link arms. Let's create a partnership. That's it. That's the whole shift. I think immature builders treat asking for help as admission, but mature builders treat it as the entire strategy altogether. Let that sink in. And the data is really clear. It backs it up. The lived experience, but also Harvard Business Review traces 67% of collaboration failure straight back to silos. Silos, folks. Not out hustle, out network. They're the ones saying that, just staying solvent while the market shifts underneath everybody else. So we got to break through those silos of self-sufficiency. So if you keep running the silo, and sometimes the longer we are in an organization, the more that we protect our silos, and we don't even understand the water that we're swimming in anymore. And you wonder, why did that high capacity player just slip out the back door? Here's what keeps happening. You keep absorbing the shocks alone that the network would have absorbed for you. Your team would have absorbed for you. A voucher law, a staffing shortage, a board meeting where the room just nodded and nobody really meant it. Here's what really matters. Every family or system loses to that isolation is a student who needed something your institution had all along. If it had been connected to a partner, sitting one phone call away. So you have a choice. You can keep defending the boundary, or you start building the bridge. It's a whole new game. You know that. A whole new game of staying in demand and profitable. And I honestly don't think we can do that alone anymore. Louis L'Amour, I'm sorry. John Wayne, I'm sorry. those personifications of how we go about, we don't live there anymore. And builders don't wait for permission. They just call their partners first. I'm always on the look for where the key partnerships are forging. And here's what you can do with this idea before this stream even ends today. Name one partner, a person, an organization that attitude of, we've got this handled, has just quietly just stiff-armed, just kept out of the room. Not as a strategy, but as a habit. Nobody really questioned or examined. Write that name down. The person, the organization, the initiative maybe. And if you want a room that actually builds this, where superintendents and presidents work this out loud together, you can join the October 7th. And we've got a really special peer-to-peer roundtable. You can check that out. Go to our website, higherperformancegroup.com. Just 60 minutes. So we hit, we start striking right away. We try to cap it at about 25 people. Go to higherperformancegroup.com. You can scroll down, find peer-to-peer roundtable. Get yourself registered for that. If you're a builder, we need you there. If you're a coaster, I think you've got some other things you need to be doing that day. And if you're a dreamer or a climber, I want to introduce you to some builders because there are better ways to be leading today. If you just want some of the free resources that turn today's conversation into something that you can use on Monday morning, that's waiting for you also at higherperformancegroup.com under the research channel. You can comment below. Answer the question, does the conflict create the silo in your organization, or does that historical silo create the conflict? Who knows? Your answer might be exactly what another leader in this network needs to read today. Keep your dukes up, folks.